everyone! Today we'll do a sequence that focuses on lengthening the spine and then some twisting as well. So we won't need a whole lot of stuff, something to sit on to be comfortable, and then also probably a belt, maybe a block or two might be helpful with the standing poses. Go ahead and let's start in Sukhasana, simple cross leg. So try to cross mid-shin, feet are more or less underneath the knees, and then you're going to want to reach back and move the body flesh out of the way so you can sit squarely on the sit bones. Then take some time with the upper body as well. Roll your shoulders back, open across your chest, and start to bring the head back in line. Now as you pull the shoulder blades down the back of the body, feel the lift and length of the front of the body. We'll take some time to sit quietly, like and bring your hands together in front of your heart, heel the hands to the base of the sternum. Go ahead and close your eyes, take some time to settle in. So find physical center with your body, left and right, also front and back. And as you find that centered place, consciously ground your hips and thighs downward. Keep lifting your spine upward. As you create more space through the front of your body, notice your breathing here. So easy inhalations and easy exhalations. Helping your mind to focus and prepare for yoga practice. Now maintaining the lift of your chest, bow your head, chin towards your chest. And release your hands to your thighs. Next inhalation, bring your head to center. And open your eyes. Let's stretch your arms. So interlace your fingers, turn your palms to face out. And as you stretch your arms, relax your shoulders down. Heavy through the hips, inhale the arms up. Easy breath here, squeezing the upper arms in towards your ears, pushing up through the heel, the hands, the fingers side two to lengthen the spine. Now keep all that lift, release your arms. Let's try behind your back, interlacing there. Just roll your shoulders back, open across your chest, take an easy breath here. Let's release. We'll come back in front, change the interlace, put your other first finger on top, turn the palms to face out. And again, relax your shoulders, heavy through the hips, inhale the arms back up. Again, looking for a length. So as the thighs release down, lift your waist, ribs, chest, stretch the arms fully. Keep the lift, release your arms. One more time behind the back, unfamiliar clasping, other first finger on top. And again, just roll the shoulders back, open across your chest, and take an easy breath here. And let's release. Let's take a side stretch. So inhale, take your right arm up, left hand's on the floor. As you exhale, we're going to bend to the side. So keep the right hip really heavy down into the floor, but use the arm and pull the rib cage away from the hip. Let's release. We'll do side two. So inhale, left arm is up. Again, descend the left hip down as you stretch and open through the left side of the body. And let's release. Now keep the lift of the body. We're going to start to twist to the right side. So lengthen as you inhale. Go ahead and turn the abdomen as you exhale. We're going to work our way up the body. So inhale, lift, and exhale, rotate, turn. All the way up through the ribs and through the shoulders. Lengthen and turn. Next breath. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, release your twist. We're changing sides. So again, lengthen as you inhale. Turn the abdomen as you exhale. Up around the ribs, lengthen, and rotate, turn. One more time, up around the shoulders, upper part of the back, turn. And then release. Now, change the crossing of the legs, so whichever leg is in front now, change it. Other leg is in front. We're going to go off to the sides and forward. So if you need some padding for underneath the ankles, you can certainly use a blanket or just fold up your sticky mat underneath the ankles for a little more padding. Now just take a moment here to think about turning the abdomen towards your right side. So just kind of aim your belly button towards your right knee, and then you're going to start to come forward out over that side. Think about hips moving back, spine moving forward. You're going to notice that one hip is getting a little light. So pull the thighs back into the hip sockets, shift weight over to the opposite side, and then continue to bring the trunk forward. You're lengthening out the body, and at the very end, round all the way down. Release the head, release the neck, couple easy breaths. Next inhalation, we'll come back up and untwist. Then we're going to do side two. So again, turn the abdomen, belly button towards the left knee, and then we're going to start to come forward. Once the hands touch down, again, you're going to notice a little lightness in that hip, opposite side. So pull the thighs back into the hip sockets, and then bring the torso forward. Hips go back, spine goes forward, and then again, at the very end, you get to relax all the way down. Release the head and neck, couple easy breaths. And let's inhale and come back up and untwist. Now we're going to go straight forward. So think about pulling both of the thighs further back into the hip sockets, like you could make a very sharp crease at the hip, and start to bring the torso forward. As the thighs go back, hips go back, let the spine come forward, lengthening out any amount. And at the very end, you get to round all the way down. Release the head and neck, couple easy breaths. When you're ready, inhale, use your arms to help lift your body back up. And then stretch your legs out. From here, let's go to hands and knees. Keep warming up the spine a little bit more. So, you need something underneath the knees, use a blanket. Hands are going to be right underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Let's take a breath in. As you exhale, tuck your head, tuck your tail, round your back. And then as you inhale, head and tail come back up, spine goes down. Just going back and forth several times. Rounding as you exhale. Releasing as you inhale. And just feel that you can stretch your back muscles one direction. Let them release the opposite way too. And if you prefer to make a little bit of movement, certainly do so. You can move the hips around a little bit. You can make some circles with the torso. You just want to stretch through the spine wherever it feels a little bit stuck or tight. When you're ready to move on, we'll go to puppy pose next. So that means curl the toes under, shift the hips back towards the heels, and stretch the arms forward. So again, try to create as much length in the spine as possible. So spine goes deep into the body, chest comes forward, arms go forward. Taking a little side stretch here, we'll walk both hands over to the right side. Pull both hips back, especially the left hip, reach forward through the left arm. Take an easy breath, left side. And then back towards center. Lengthening, noticing if one side is longer. And then to the second side. Both hands go to the left. Pull both hips back, especially right hip, reach forward through the right arm. Easy breath. And then back towards center again. Both hips are back, both arms are forward. From here, we're going to lift a dog pose. Make sure the hands are shoulder width apart, feet are hip width. And we'll just go ahead and start to walk in place a little bit, stretch out the legs one at a time. Warming up the legs, warming up the hips. Pulling the front of the thighs up, stretching the backs of the legs down. Arms do external rotation, legs do internal rotation. Just trying to stretch the whole body. Anytime you want to come down and rest, just release on back down. From here, we're going to move to the back. So you'll need to have a belt nearby. And you can start off, once you're on your back, by pulling the knees in towards your chest. So you can always choose to do one leg at a time or both legs together. Just usually a little bit of movement feels good. Side to side, forward and back, some circles with the knees. If you prefer a little bit of the happy baby, hold onto the feet or the ankles, pull the knees down towards the floor. All right, a little bit of movement here may feel good as well. Take your time with knees to chest. Anytime you want to do some windshield wiper legs, that's probably a good idea too today. So you can take your feet a little bit wider apart, and you can wave the legs left and right. Getting some rotation into the lower back, loosening it up, and loosening up the hips as well. As much or as little stretching as you want here. Some of us like to get a little bit more of a hip stretch, so right now my right knee is down. I can put the left ankle on top and draw it closer down towards the floor. If I want to add on a little bit of a side stretch too, since I want the spine to lengthen today, I could add the right arm up and overhead. So again, as much or as little stretch as you want to have here. Lengthening out and loosening the hips. Once you feel like you've had enough of the windshield wiper legs, we can go on and do Supta Tadasana, reclined mountain pose. So legs are straight, they're close together. You want to press through the heels and the balls of the feet, leg muscles on. Arms are by the sides, upper arms, shoulders down into the floor. If that makes the back want to arch, just make sure abs are tight, buttocks are towards the heels. Inhale, we'll take the arms up and overhead. This is Urdhva Hastasana, upward facing arms. And then again, I just want to use my arms and legs to really stretch the spine. So I'm going to keep stretching from the hips down into the heels, at the same time stretching from the waist towards the fingers and lengthening the sides completely. Okay, and then we'll release. Let's do Supta Padangusthasana next. So you can grab your belt, and we're going to bend the legs, belt up the right foot, and stretch the right leg up. Take some time to stretch the back of the leg, mostly through the hamstring. You might get some calf stretch too. And then the left leg's going to stretch along the floor when you're ready. Easy breathing here, just seeing what you can do about stretching the back of the leg. And what you might feel is that hip starts to hike up a little bit. The more that you pull the leg in, the hip starts to hike up towards your shoulder. So you need to use your hand right at the hip. I'm hooking my thumb into the hip crease and just drawing it down and away from my shoulder. So that way I can keep the side of the body nice and long. And as the side of the body stays long, I'm also going to pull the leg in. But I don't want to pull the leg in so much again that waist shortens. So again, outer hip draws down, I'll pull the leg in. I want to keep that action happening, so I'm going to keep a little bit of external rotation in the leg as I start to open towards the right side. Abs are tight, hips are squeezed in as I open this leg. I'm still thinking about pulling the foot towards my head, but at the same time I want that outer right hip to move towards my other foot. And again, it's as if I could make a little sharper crease at that right hip. Inhale, bring the leg back up. Keep pulling the leg in, foot in, but hip away. And that way I can start to bring the leg across the body, stretching the outermost hamstring here. And then I'm going to go all the way into the twist today. So as I bring the leg across, some of us will bend the knee, some of us will hike the hip, some of us will let the foot go away from us, or maybe all three. So pull the foot in, keep the leg straight, and draw that right hip away from you to make, again, that sharper crease in the hip, keeping the side of the body nice and long as you bring the leg all the way over into the twist. From here, I'm going to inhale, bring the leg back up. Keep the leg up, release the belt. We'll inhale, arms up and overhead, and stretching the leg all the way down. Now side two. So I'll bend the legs. Again, we're belting up the left foot, taking some time to find that the stretches in the back of the thigh, quadricep muscles contracting. Right leg can stretch along the floor when I'm ready for it. And again, as I pull the leg in, that hip may want to hike. So I'm just going to use my thumb, again, hook it into the hip crease and draw it down. It helps me to lengthen out that left waist area. That's where I feel it. But then as I keep the hip moving away from me, I want the foot to come in. Again, as if I can make that sharper crease at the hip. I want to keep that happening as I start to open towards the side. So I'm thinking about foot towards my head side, hip towards my foot side as I open. Abs are tight, hips are squeezed in. Feeling a lot of stretch through the back of the thigh towards the inner side. Going to inhale, bring the leg back up. I'm going to change hands and start to come across the body now. And again, all sorts of funny things happen. Foot goes away, so I don't feel so much stretch. Knee will bend, hip will hike up. So I want to reverse all those things. Leg straight, foot in, hip away as I bring the leg across. And again, going all the way into the twist on the second side. Again, trying to keep that left waist nice and long, foot towards the head side, hip crease towards my foot side to stretch the leg. Good. Inhale, bring the leg back up. Again, keeping the leg up in the air, letting go of the belt. Arms up and overhead, that's the inhalation. And then as I exhale, I'm stretching the leg all the way down and out. Terrific. Take your time to come up. If you want to pull your knees back in towards your chest for a moment, you want to go back to that windshield wiper leg for a moment, feel free. And then when you're ready, we'll roll to the side and use the arms to help lift the body back up. We're going to keep warming up the body a little bit more. We'll do dog pose. We're going to do lunge with a twist and also some pigeon pose. Okay? So when you're ready, we'll come back around to hands and knees. And we'll lift up for dog pose. Hips nice and high, so keep pulling the front of the thighs up as you stretch the backs of the legs down. Good. To warm up a little bit, we'll do plank and chaturanga all the way down to the floor for cobra pose. So when you're ready, keep your elbows in tight, lowering down. Press the pelvis into the floor, roll the shoulders back, squeeze the elbows in as you open across your chest. And then we'll release, heading back to the dog pose. Knees first or straight back, either way. Now for lunge, right foot forward. Left knee's gonna be down. Take your time, make sure that the abs are tight, hips are squeezed in. Bring the hip forward and down and stretch the front of the hip. As you're ready, we'll inhale and take the arms up and overhead. Using the arms to lift the body upwards, lengthening the spine. Good, let's release. We'll head back to the dog pose. Lifting up on both hips again. Notice any change, front of the left hip, front of the right. And then side two. Bring the left foot forward. Right knee's going to be down. And again, taking your time. Bringing that hip forward and down, core on, abs and buttock. Once you feel stable, inhale, add the arms. Now you want to use your arms, connect all the way down to the rib cage and pull the whole rib cage upwards, even as the hip goes forward and down. Okay, let's release. Head back to dog pose. And again, getting a good lift up through the hips. Again, plank chaturanga as you're ready for it. Press the pelvis into the floor, shoulders back, elbows in for cobra pose, Sukhasana. And then heading back to your dog pose. Now we're going to repeat that lunge. So right foot forward. Again, left knee is down. Making sure you have good stability around the pelvis. So hips are forward and down, core on. Again, we're going to get that length first. So we'll inhale, take the arms up, lifting up through the sides of the body, lengthening the body. And then we're going to add a twist. So I'm going to bring that left elbow to the outer right knee. Hands go to prayer position. And I'm going to push the hands into each other and the elbow into knee to start to lengthen and turn the body. So I'm trying to bring the bottom shoulder towards you, moving the top shoulder back. Going to go ahead and release, head back to the dog pose. Lifting up through the hips. Second side, left foot forward. Right knee's down. Again, find stability first. So bring the hip forward and down, core on. Adding the arms to get the vertical lift and length through the spine. And then adding on the twist. So I'm going right elbow towards the left knee. Hands go to prayer position. Once I get the elbow placed, I'm still in lunge. And I'm going to press the elbow into knee, hands into each other. I'm going to lengthen and turn. Okay, and then I'm going to release. Heading back to dog pose. And again, hips high. We'll do plank chaturanga here. Elbows in as you lower. Shoulders back, elbows in, opening across the chest. And heading back to dog pose. And as promised, we'll do a little pigeon too. So bend your right leg. We'll bring the knee forward underneath your chest, setting it down. Knee in line with the outer hip, best of your ability. Doing internal rotation of the back leg. We'll come forward and down. Now, we want to work on making that right thigh bone go further back. So again, the idea about deepening the hip crease applies here too. So I'm going to pull that whole thigh bone back from the knee into the hip socket. Okay, head back to dog pose. Feeling the difference between the two sides. And then, of course, left leg forward. Pigeon on the second side. Again, taking your time, getting a lot of external rotation of the front leg, knee in line with hip. Back leg, doing a bunch of internal rotation there to keep the pelvis level. And I come down off the wrists. Thinking about, again, that left hip crease. Could I make it a little bit deeper? So I'm going to pull the whole thigh bone back from the knee into the hip socket. Okay, head back to dog pose. Take a moment here and lift up on the hips. And just notice if this dog pose feels different than the first one you did. If you want plank chaturanga again, take it. You come down and rest when you're done. Okay, I think we're warmed up. So we're going to do some standing poses next. Okay, let's do a couple of standing poses to keep lengthening the body. So let's stand in Dandasana, mountain pose to begin. So feet parallel, 10 toes ahead, leg muscles on. Shoulders back, open across the chest, stretch down through the fingertips. Then inhale, take the arms up and overhead. Urdhva Hastasana, upward facing arms. Now what I want you to do is keep pushing down from the buttocks to the heels, but use your arms and pull the whole rib cage higher and feel the sides of the body stretch long. Terrific, and let's release. Now when we do Trikonasana next, I want you to feel that length through the sides of the body as well. Okay, so for mountain pose, hands together in front of your chest, bend your knees, take your arms and legs wide apart. We're going to turn the right leg all the way out 90 degrees, back toes are going to turn a little bit in. And then like mountain pose, press the feet, firm the legs, stretch the arms and open the chest. Earlier when we did Supta Pada Gustafson, I talked about a nice sharp crease at the hip. So it'd be this right hip, and what I want you to do is use your hand at the hip here and give just a little bit of a push. And as I push the hip and make a sharp crease, my body's going to lengthen out the opposite direction. So the hips are going one way, but the spine is going to lengthen out the opposite way. Couple easy breaths. Hands can rest down on the block, on your leg, wherever you want it. But think about a lot of length in the body. Couple breaths here. Hips going one way, spine lengthening out opposite. When you want out, push the weight to the back heel. Use your top arm to pull you up and out. We're going to do side two. So turn the feet. Left leg's all the way up 90 degrees. Back toes are in. Taking the time to press the feet, firming the legs, stretching the arms and opening the chest. Now again, looking for that nice sharp crease at the hip. That way they can keep the sides of the body nice and long. So you might use your hand again right at that hip crease and give a push. So not at the waist, but at the hip. And as the hips go one direction, the spine will lengthen out the opposite, which is what I want. So again, nice sharp crease at the hip. Hips going one direction, spine lengthening out opposite way. Easy breathing, keeping your torso in line with your legs, not in front of. When you want out, push the weight to the back heel. Use your top arm to pull you up and out. We'll take a little rest in a wide leg forward bend. So make sure you have a little bit of toes in, heels out, a little internal rotation. Hands are on the hips. Inhale and lift the spine. And as you exhale, fold forward. Hands can be down on blocks or on the floor. When you're ready to fold all the way down, think about lengthening the trunk forward. Again, very sharp creases at the hip as you lengthen down. Couple easy breaths here. Legs stay on. To come up, I'm going to go to a halfway point, legs firm, and I'll bring the torso up. Then coming back to mountain pose. And we're going to lengthen the body in another direction. We're going to do Parsvottanasana. This is intense side stretch, or oftentimes we call it intense leg stretch because that's usually where you feel it. But today, of course, I'm going to want you to feel it through your sides. You might want to have a couple blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can always rest your hands down on your leg, and that will totally work as well. Okay, so I'm going to turn, so I'm facing towards the short edge of the sticky mat and my blocks. From mountain pose, I'm going to step my right foot forward and the left foot back. I want to take some time to press the feet and firm the legs like mountain pose, and I need to turn my hips all the way to face front. Now that sharp crease at the hip again would be here at this right hip. So I can give a little push, hips are going back, spine is going to go forward. You can release the hands down maybe to a chair or the blocks or the floor or your leg, whatever works. But then I want to think about, okay, could I take my hips further back behind me and my spine further forward? That's what I want. So you should see a flat back here, no roundness. When I want out, I'm going to press the weight to the heels, inhale, and lift the trunk back up. Okay, I'll step the feet back together, or I do side two. So left foot is forward, right foot is back. Again, I'm going to turn the hips and feel connected here through the feet to the floor. Firming up through the legs, turning the hips to face front. That sharp crease I'm looking for is at that left hip. So I'm going to push that left hip back, lengthening the torso forward. Again, hands are going to come down to whatever prop you're working with or the floor. But I can feel right now my back's a little bit round, and I want to stretch my sides a little bit more. So I'm going to pull the outer left hip back, the inner right thigh back, and watch. I'm going to go chest forward. To flatten out that back and feel that the sides of the body can stretch a little bit further. Maybe I'm even going to walk the blocks a little further so I can really feel the sides stretch. But again, back stays flat or concave. When I want out, weight to the back heel, up I come. Okay. Standing back in mountain pose again for a moment. Inhale, take the arms up and overhead. Gustafson, upward facing arms, finding that length through the sides. And then I can release. We're also going to be doing Trikonasana, Revolve Triangle pose. So it's like a triangle pose, but with a twist. Okay? So I'm going to start off the way I just did for Parvottanasana with my right foot forward and the left foot back. And I could have a block on the big toe side of my foot or the little toe side of the foot. Either one will work. And I'm going to press the feet and firm the legs and turning the hips forward, just like I did for Parvottanasana. Same thing, I'm going to pull the thighs back. That sharp crease is going to be at my right hip, and I want to bring the torso forward. My left hand's going to come down towards that block. And in this position, I want to, again, go outer right hip back, inner left thigh back, and spine forward. From this position, now I'm going to start to twist. So I'm going to keep my hips where they are, but turn my abdomen, rib cage, and chest towards the right. I can stretch the top arm up. Legs are nice and firm. Lots of length in the body and a twist. I'm going to release the twist. Inhale and up I come. Okay, we're going to do side two. So taking a moment here again to press down into the feet and firm the legs. I'm going to turn the hips to face my front leg. Again, feet press, legs firm. I'm going to pull that outer left hip back. I want to make that hip crease a little sharper. So here I go. Hips are going back, spine's going forward. Right hand is the one that's coming down towards the block or towards the chair, whatever you're using. Again, I got to pull the hips back, spine forward, and then I get to turn. Abdomen, rib cage, chest. Top arm can go up when I'm ready. When I want out, I'm going to release the twist first. Use the legs, and up I come. Coming back to mountain pose for a moment. Now, I went to the big toe side of the foot that time with my hand. The second time, I'm going to see if I can go towards the little toe side of the foot as well. Okay? So I'm going to set up the same way. Right foot is forward, left foot is back. This requires a little bit more twisting to happen. So I want to think about moving my shoulders a little bit more. Feet press, legs firm. Good lift of the body. Here we go. Hips go back, spine goes forward. Hands going to come down to the outer side of the foot. And from this position again, I want to make a sharp crease at the hip, lengthening the trunk forward, and then turning, twisting. Again, hips go back, outer right, inner left thigh goes back, spine lengthening and turning. When I want out, I'm going to release the twist, and up I come. I have one more side to do. So left foot is forward, right foot is back. And again, I got to firm the legs, turn the hips forward. I'm thinking again about a sharp crease at the left hip and a lot of length in the body. So hips go back, spine goes forward. And hands going to come down to the prop. I'm going to keep that nice sharp crease at the left hip, torso in line with the legs, and I'm going to rotate, turn. Bring the bottom shoulder underneath me, top shoulder goes back. You come out, release the twist, use the legs, and up you come. We'll take the wide leg forward bend again, or you can also choose to do dog pose instead. Okay, let's do just a couple of seated poses here. You're going to start in Dandasana, staff pose. So you're going to press up through the heels and the balls of the feet. Leg muscles are on. We want to use the hands by the sides to get as much lift and length out of the spine as possible. So just like Tadasana, but seated. So keep the thighs moving down right at the hip crease. Lift the trunk up. Good. We'll inhale, take the arms up and overhead, getting good lift out of the sides of the body. And then we'll release. Now we're going to do Marachasana 1 and then Marachasana 3. So they're very similar twists, but slightly different. So you're going to start here with Marachasana 1. You're going to bend your left leg to begin. You'd like to keep the heel in line with the sit bone best of your ability so that your shin bone is perpendicular to the floor. Now what I'm going to do for a moment is just hug the knee in so I can get that good lift of the spine again, that lift and length up. Right leg is going to still do Dandasana. Okay, and then from here, right arm's coming back behind, and then the left elbow's going to go on the inside of the knee. And I want to lift the trunk up, keep as much lift as possible, length as possible, but I'm going to push the knee into the elbow to help me to turn. So in other words, if I push the elbow into knee, that's going to take me the wrong direction. But if I push the knee into the elbow, it helps me into the twist. So I'm going to keep lifting up, keeping the lift and turning. This is Marachasana 1. Twist only. Good. And then I'm going to release. I'm going to change legs. So now the right leg is bent, heel in line with the sit bone. Again, trying to get that shin bone perpendicular. I'm going to hug the knee in for a moment so I can get all that lift that I got out of Dandasana. And I keep the lift as the left hand comes back behind. Right elbow goes on the inside of the knee. And again, I don't want to push the elbow into the knee. I want to push the knee into the elbow. And that helps me to turn. That can keep coming around, doing some external rotation there to help my chest stay open as I turn. Next breath, inhale, lift up, and exhale, release. Now for Marachasana 3, I'm going to keep my right leg bent. Again, I'm going to hug in so I get all that lift and length. Now this time I'm hugging with the left arm, right arm's back behind. And if you have any stomach here, you may want to lean back for a moment and move it to the other side of your leg. And then I can keep hugging the knee in. I'm going to lift and turn, working my way up the body. And as I come around a little bit further, now I can bring the elbow to the outside of the knee this time. And this time I'm going to push the elbow into knee to give me more leverage to turn. This one is Marachasana 3. Good. And then release. Second side, so now the left leg is bent. Again, I'm going to hug the knee in so I can be nice and tall again. Hugging with the right arm, left arm's going back behind. Again, maybe I got to move some stomach out of the way. Again, I'm going to lift up and rotate. Trying to get my stomach on the other side of that thigh. Again, as I work my way up the spine, I'm going to bring the elbow to the outside of the knee. And then again, I'm going to push elbow into knee, more leverage to rotate. Next breath, inhale, lift up, and exhale, release. Well, I think that's enough twisting. So let's lie down and do bridge pose, a small reclined twist, and then also, of course, Shavasana. So you can lie down. No blankets underneath you for bridge pose. Legs are bent, feet about hip width apart. Walk the heels just closer to the buttocks, just a bit. And then I want to press the shoulders down and open across the chest, but I need to make sure that the abs are tight when I do so. Then I'll lift the hips, squeeze the buttocks. Don't turn your head, don't look at me, but go ahead and roll onto the top of the shoulders. You can clasp your hands underneath, press down into the feet, press down to the upper arm, and lift the hips and chest. Spend a few easy breaths here, keeping abs, buttocks tight, buttocks towards the knees. Now, when you want out, release the arms first. Keep that little tuck of the tail as you roll the spine back down. And from here, we'll bring the legs in towards your chest. For a reclined twist, we'll keep the right knee in, stretch the left leg out. Hug the knee with your left arm. Right arm could go out to the side. And then you're going to bring the leg across your body into a little reclined twist. Let's inhale, bring the leg back up. Both knees will come back in towards your chest. And then, of course, the second side. So left knee stays in, right leg stretches out. Hug with the right arm as we bring the leg across the body. Just a nice, easy way to stretch out the lower back. Now we'll inhale and bring the leg back up. Hug both knees back in toward your chest one more time just to realign the body. And then we'll get ready for Relaxation Shavasana. So if you'd like to grab a blanket for your head, a bolster for underneath your knees, please do so. So take some time here to adjust your body well as you lie down. Always look for symmetry, left side and right, making any minor adjustments necessary. And take a moment to roll your shoulders back, open across your chest, let the arms release out towards your sides, palms are facing up. And make sure low back is comfortable. If you need more space, lift your hips, slide the buttocks towards your heels. And once you get your body all settled in, take a deep breath. And as you exhale, let your body relax down. And just see if you can let go of all muscular tension throughout your body. So make sure abdomen is soft around the hips, lower back. And allow your hips and your legs to be very heavy, no longer having to work. Now as the lower body releases, find softness all the way up along the spine. Letting all the back muscles rest, let go of your shoulders, let go of your arms. Feel here, head in line with the rest of the spine, so the neck muscles can soften, head heavy. Letting go of tension through the jaw, throat, tongue. Quiet around your eyes and your ears. And as you rest your physical body completely now, bring all of your awareness inward towards your breathing. Just easy inhalations and easy exhalations. Letting the body and the mind rest. Now let your next few breaths be deeper. You can bend your elbows, bring your hands towards your abdomen, taking some time to feel your breath in your body. Noticing if breath feels smoother, easier for you now. Taking this time to thank your body. Now move slowly, move gently. As you feel ready, bend your legs. If it feels good to pull the knees in one more time, do so. You can roll gently towards your side, rest on your side, few breaths. And then use your arms to gently help yourself back up to a seated position. just take some time to sit, take the time to check in, see how you feel. Noticing the effects of your yoga practice. Noticing your overall posture. Maybe more stability through the pelvis, better lift and length up through the spine. Sense of space, quality of breath, quality of mind. Let's inhale. Take the arms up. Exhaling, hands down to the heart. Namaste. The goodness in me bows to the goodness in you.